Being an online learner presents so many challenges. However, it can be the most rewarding thing you can ever do. I did my master's completely online, distance learning, and it is one of the best experiences that I've ever had. So we're going to talk about how you can be a successful online learner. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create a dedicated space. You're going to first find a space in your home, whether it is in an office area of your bedroom or your front room, that you can be comfortable, it's quiet, and it's a spot in your home that you can use to focus on your studies. I, at one point, was relegated to my sofa, and I'll try and insert a picture here of when I had my little one sitting on my shoulders and my other little one right next to me and my laptop on my lap. So at that point in time, I didn't have a dedicated space for studying, and sometimes it was very distracting. But when you do have a specific space for learning, it can help you mentally switch on to study mode. So when you're sitting at your desk in your office or in that corner of your bedroom or your front room, that now you're going to focus on your studies. For busy moms like myself, when I was doing my course, even a corner in the room makes such a big difference. So being transferred from the sofa to the corner of my front room made a massive difference when it came to setting a specific space just for studying. It helps to stay organized because you might want to keep your papers and things like that in the space next to you, but it also can keep you distraction free. So family members know when you are in this space that this is study time. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to set a study routine. Now, I have done a previous video on study routines, so go and check that out. But setting a study routine is absolutely imperative when it comes to online learning. Because some online learning courses can be at your own pace, you may feel like you have all the time in the world to complete your modules. However, the flexibility does not mean procrastination. So it's very important to have a consistent schedule, just so you can be mentally prepared to know that a certain amount of hours every week is how you're going to be dedicating your time towards your studies. Block out specific time for studying, for attending classes if you are going to be going to online virtual classes. Block out specific time for studying, attending classes, and for completing your assignments. If you aren't going to virtual sessions, so my online course, there was no delivery whatsoever. It was all student-led. So I dictated when my lectures were going to be, when I was going to do work through my modules. However, if you know that you're going to be attending lectures, then you've got a specific time given to you. But I would recommend, if you do a course like I did and you don't have that focused specific time told to you, then I would give myself a time to attend those classes and integrate that into time that you would also use to complete your assignments. This is going to help you stay on track and manage your time effectively, especially if you have to work around busy family life. It will help you understand that these are the times of the day that I'm going to focus on studying and getting my assignments done, and also having that openness with your family as well, so they know that I've got a lecture at 7 o'clock, so they're aware that you're not going to be available for the next hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours. Then you're going to use a planner. One of the best things I did was create myself a digital planner. This helped me keep track of my deadlines. Now, yes, you do have deadlines in your university app or your college app. You can also use an electronic organizer, so like Microsoft Outlook or your Google Calendar. I am really mentally, sometimes I need to keep track of things and I don't. So it's easier for me to write things down. And this helped me a lot when I did this in a digital planner. It helped me keep track of my deadlines, my assignments, and any virtual meetings that I may have had with lecturers when I was coming up to writing my thesis, my dissertation. And it can also be a space where you can use to brainstorm. Whether you have a physical planner or a digital one, having something written down can help you stay organized, and it can reduce stress greatly. For mums like myself, juggling mum life and university life and working a job, it's very important to stay organized, and having a digital planner for me was a lifesaver. If you want a ready-made one, there is one down in my description. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to engage actively in classes. Now, whether this is you engaging in online virtual discussions, as in you're on a Teams call, or you have to engage in forums, engaging in those classrooms is so useful when it comes to building connection with your classmates or with your peers, but also participation in discussions. You're able to get the viewpoint of others that are in the same course as you, as well as getting ad hoc feedback from your lecturers. You can ask questions in these sessions and in these forums, and you can interact with your peers and instructors for a collaboration of ideas. Actively engaging helps you to retain information also. It's one of those spaces that you cannot replicate it on your own, and it makes the learning process so much more enjoyable when you are feeding off of others and giving back. I find when you say things out loud and when you share ideas, it tends to stick a bit better than when you're just writing it on your notebook and taking notes during sessions. So make sure to engage actively with your classmates. Don't forget to take regular breaks. So if you are doing block studying, you have a lot of free time because the kids are at school during the day and you are like 2-3 days a week, and you can dedicate another 2-3 days to study. Make sure you are still taking your breaks. It is essential to give your brain some downtime, give it rest and let it recharge. I find the Pomodoro technique really useful when I need to break down tasks into small manageable chunks. So 25 minutes of focus time and 5 to 10 minutes of a break. But also you can use the Eisenhower technique, which is another technique that can help you organize tasks into areas of importance. So if you something that doesn't necessarily need to be done now, for example, if you are doing a group project and there's an element of the group project that you don't particularly think is your area of expertise, you can share that responsibility with your peer. Things like the Pomodoro technique are really useful also because you can fit it around family life. If you have a really busy schedule during the day and you might have an hour before school run, you may give yourself that hour to Pomodoro, so 15 minutes of study and a 5-minute break, or you might use the whole 25-minute chunk, so 25 minutes with a 5-minute break and then another 25 minutes to study, and then off we go to the school run. So this can help a lot when it comes to staying organized, but make sure you are taking regular breaks. I always say study smarter, not harder. So utilize digital tools. They are so useful. Things like Evernote for taking notes, things like Trello for task management or Notion for task management, and things like Quizlet for creating study sets. I personally like turbolearn.ai for taking notes and for making flashcards. It has become part of my regular routine, even in my work life. I like to use it to take notes. If I've got meetings and things like that, I can use it to take the notes for me, and then I can go back and review any actions that may have come up in those meetings. But using digital tools can enhance your learning experience because it takes away the stress of having to sit there and take the notes whilst also trying to pay attention. Sometimes I find trying to concentrate on the note taking whilst also listening means I'm focusing more on the note taking and not actually taking any of the information in, whereas when I have something else taking the notes for me, it allows for that interaction during the session. So making sure or looking out for tools that can support you in your academic life. I've mentioned a few there that can help you stay organized and make studying a bit more efficient. Stay connected. Make sure you are networking, you're staying connected with your peers and your educators. Now, if you are doing a course like I was doing, which is completely distance learning, there wasn't really any interaction with my peers, in the sense that we couldn't stay connected in that way. I feel like I was the only person in the UK at the time doing this course. A lot of my counterparts were studying in China. I was doing a distance learning course through UCL, so it's a very big, well-known university, and it can sometimes be challenging to stay connected. However, there are the option to be part of things that go on campus. So you might want to join a network or a group that can help support you during your time as a university student, but also making sure you're staying connected with your lecturers and your instructors to support you when you might need that bit of additional support, and ensuring that you're getting feedback. Even though you are an online student, you still should be getting feedback regularly from your instructors. So making sure you're reaching out to get those bits of feedback. You can use functionalities like Slack, Microsoft Teams or Zoom if they're available to you to communicate and collaborate. I really like Microsoft Teams. You can create your own channels on there. Most universities and colleges have channels ready made for student groups and student forums, so making sure that you are tapping into those spaces whilst also using those platforms to stay connected with your instructors. Building a support network is crucial when it comes to balancing things like family life and studies. There may be things that you may have missed that someone else might be able to pick up if you are in one of those online groups and online environments, that they can keep you updated on things that may have changed or updates to university materials and resources. So making sure that you are staying connected is vital. Being an online learner can sometimes be a bit of a downer. So how are we going to stay motivated? Because staying motivated can present its challenges. But when you set small, achievable goals for yourself and then you achieve them, reward yourself. So make sure that you are rewarding yourself for completing small tasks. And I don't mean, oh, I met my deadline, I'm going to reward myself. No, I mean mini tasks, little things, little milestones along the way that you have achieved, you can reward yourself for. And these are all rewards that lead up to the end goal, and this will help you keep focused, stay driven, and even when you maybe feeling a bit overwhelmed when it comes to balancing everything that's going on in your personal and your academic life, these small rewards along the way will make a very big difference. But that being said, if there are times when you do feel a bit stressed and you do feel a bit overwhelmed, make sure you seek the help if it's needed. Don't hesitate to ask for help if you feel like you are struggling. Reach out to your instructors, your classmates, your academic advisors, your family members who may be able to support you when it comes to your academic studies. And most institutions offer some form of online tutoring and support service. And if you can't find that within your institution, there are people like myself who do provide tutoring outside of the institution environment. Seeking help from outside can also be beneficial, and making sure you're tapping into other networks as well where you may be able to find that additional support. Asking for help is a sign of strength. It's not a weakness, and it will make sure that you don't fall far behind. You don't fall behind because you are feeling overwhelmed or because you are feeling stressed. And we will all feel that way at some point in our academic journey, whether we have additional responsibilities or not, because the process can get stressful and can get overwhelming. But it's important to know that your strength is in asking for support. And in line with that, the last but one of the most important things that we're going to do when we are online learners is we are going to practice self-care. This is something that I feel gets missed, and it's always last on the list, but maybe it should be first. Balancing online learning and everything else that comes along with it, whether you are working full time, whether you have a family, whether you have caring responsibilities, whether you're part of a sports club, whatever you do outside, It can be stressful trying to do everything all at once. So making time for the activities that make you happy and help relax you and recharge, things like exercise, reading, spending quality time with family and friends are so important. Taking care of yourself ensures that you're going to be in the best state when it comes to succeeding academically. If you don't have a healthy mind and a healthy body, you're not going to be able to be 100% when it comes to doing your assignments and making the most of the work that has been provided for you to achieve your academic success. So those are my 10 tips for being a successful student in an online environment. Whether you're doing distance learning or whether you're doing hybrid learning, these can present their challenges. So implement these 10 tips and these 10 techniques. And like I said, if you would like to get yourself a digital planner or essay template, they are linked in the description. So grab them today, and I will see you in the next video.